Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how to make Sonic Sackboy, and here he is. This is what he looks like, all the spikes in his back. And there is one part of the tutorial that I did not film, or I did film it and I can't find the clip, so I showed like a modified version of the ear later on in the video, somewhere in the end. So yeah, let's get on with the tutorial. So for Sonic Sackboy, you pretty much just follow the pattern for the head. He has two different colors. First of all, it's just blue on the top, and at the bottom where his mouth is supposed to be and where his nose is supposed to be, it's cream colored, white or brown. It's like a light brown color or a brown color, but I decided to use cream, and it looks white here because there's a lamp up there, so it's actually cream. And the belly part is also cream. And for changing colors, I actually showed how to change colors in a different video. I think it was in a tutorial. And usually when I change colors, I do single crochets until the last one. So you stop there, and then for the last one you just pull the yarn through like this, and then you get the new color. So once you have that there, you yarn over, pull the cream yarn through, and there you have it. You are now going to be crocheting with the cream color yarn, and you do single crochet in the next 2 stitches, and then chain 1 like always, and then do a single crochet here, and the same thing will happen here. So every time I change yarn, I don't create a single crochet in the last stitch. So in the instructions it says after 10 rows of this, you change yarn to blue, and then you continue for 2 rows or 1 or 2 rows with the blue yarn. But on the 10th row in the very last stitch, don't go and create a single crochet here. Just do the same thing as I've been doing when I'm changing yarn. So you just leave the 2 loops on the hook here, and then do a yarn over, pull the blue yarn through those 2 loops, and then there you've changed yarn. Here he is so far. I went ahead and added the arms. For the gloves, I made the fingers white, and as you can see, this is cream colored for his skin, and then his gloves are white. And just like I did for Ezio, I made a strip so that it looks like his gloves are folded. So I'm just gonna put this all the way around his hand, and then it looks like he folded his gloves. You make 2, one for each arm. Zipper part, make sure that the zipper ends at the same place as this part right here, because it's supposed to be like his belly, because if it goes past it, it just looks a little funny. So when you close it, it should end at about the same place. After you finish the legs, you make this white strip right here for his socks, and it's pretty simple. I mean, it's just one white strip, and you just wrap it around him, and then sew it on. And for the sides of his shoes, there's supposed to be stripes here, so I made these little white strips so that I can sew it on each side. So on this side, and then on the other side, and then the same for the other shoe. So make 4 of these. For the spikes on his back, since he is a hedgehog, you just do the same thing as you did for the arms. Like, you know, for the arms you pick up 6 stitches, and then for the legs you pick up 7 stitches. This time you pick up a whole bunch of stitches so that you can create the spike coming out of his head like this. I find that this way is easier instead of making it separately and sewing it on here, because it looks cleaner, and it just looks better this way than if you sew it on. And then you just create one. I created one in the middle because in the reference picture that I had, there was one in the middle of his head, and then there's just random ones coming from the back, and then there are also some coming from his body. So I'm gonna show you what they look like after I'm finished. This is what the first spike looks like. So pretty much I did, as I went along, I kind of like flattened it over so that it would go this way instead of like straight up, because his spikes go to the back like this. It points to the back and it doesn't go up. So one tip is that as you're working and you get like this much, start like folding it over in the back, and then the rest will just follow, and then it'll just kind of like point at a different angle, and then you sew it down like I did here. So as you can see, I've done 5 rows, or just a few rows, and it's sticking out this way. Now if you want the spikes to go this way, then that's fine, you can just leave it like this. But if you want it to go along the other ones, like if you want it to go to the back like that, then what I do is I would push this to the back, like to the direction that you want it to go, and kind of just fix it up so it's supposed to go like this. And what you want to do is to sew these edges onto this surface right here so that it stays like this, kind of like what I did here. So now you can see it going this way instead of out this way. As you can see, I went ahead and made all of the spikes, and as I said in the instructions, you don't really have to follow where I put them, but I put one in the middle, or tried to put it in the middle, but you don't have to. And 2 on the sides, 1 in the middle of that. So I did 3 here and 3 at the bottom, and then 1 on his back. I was gonna put something here, but it looked kind of too tight and kind of small, and I couldn't really, you know, maneuver my crochet hook in this area, so I did 1 on his back instead. And for the eyes, I made this white piece for both sides, and then I put the Sackboy doll eyes on it. And then I put another button for the nose. So the pattern for these will be down below. Okay, so I actually recorded how to make the ears and sew it on, but I can't find the video clip for some reason. So I sewed on the ears, and I will show you how what the ears are supposed to look like. So I have the pattern in the link down below. And so this is actually this blue part right here. So you kind of want to go like this, kind of bent it like this so it looks like his ear, and then set it on top of his head. And the front part is supposed to look like a triangle. And so when you bend this and you put this in front to sew it onto the front of his ear, so it looks like this. Actually, this pattern is probably completely different than this one. As you can see, it's a little wider, but it still looks fine. So all you have to do is you curve this like this, and then you sew this onto the front of the ear. And then after you sew that, you're going to position it onto his head like this and make sure they match. And as you're sewing it on, I think I might have started sewing the back first. And when you sew on most of the back, you start to stuff it before you close it so that it's not all like, so it's not hollow inside. So you do the same thing for both ears. And for the eyes, actually, it kind of looked like it was popping out too much. So I did a chain of, it really depends on how large this is, because it's not going to be the same for everybody, since everybody's stitches are going to be like different sizes. So you do a chain with the blue yarn and you sew it around his eye so it doesn't look like it's popping out too much out of his face. So you do that for both eyes. And for the back, I actually decided to, I forgot his tail actually. So for the tail, you kind of do the same thing as you did for the head, but it's much smaller. And for the back, I added 2 more spikes. So he looks a little more complete this time than before. The pattern for the ears are going to be down below. And yeah, this is it for this video tutorial. I will talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching. Bye.